Good evening to whoever is watching. This article is about how can we break FIFA by Nelly Silver. So, this article is really interesting as I could learn a lot from it. So let me start. The US Justice Department made an indictment to the FIFA officials, and this indictment may be the first step toward a less corrupted FIFA or the beginning to its end. Michael Platino is the president of UFA. He made a threat that 44 countries might quit FIFA if Blatter is reselected as president of FIFA again. And since the FIFA World Cup in 2022 was given to Qatar, some of the world's most well-off footballing nations have disregarded the rules. President of Africa and Asia supported FIFA and Blatter and the UFA and considered the UFA as a credible threat. The European countries and Brazil and Mexico and the United States, Japan and China, they can actually determine the future based on how much contribution they had been funding to FIFA based on the number of viewers that they watch FIFA. In 2000 in 2010 World Cup in South Africa, FIFA published details data on how a wide an audience the World Cup reached on television in different countries. FIFA FIFA's data is comprehensive, listing the size of the TV audience for more than 170 countries. So, we will take the FIFA's estimate on television viewers in each country and weigh it by the country's per capita, pre purchasing power, GDP. This reflects a country with disposable income is more valuable to sponsors than one from a developing countries. In 2010, the World Cup reached more viewers in China than anywhere else. When viewers are weighted by GDP, the United States come actually on the top. Despite the fact that the US has a slight below average viewers relative to its population, its large wealthy population was enough to make up for that. So the United States made up 11% of the GDP, as we can see in the diagram of its audience in 2010, followed by Japan 9%, China 7%, Germany 6%, Brazil 5%, 4% for Italy, and then 4% for France, and 4% for the United Kingdoms. Those eight countries more than half of the GDP weighted World Cup audience. Aggregating these numbers based on the six continental federations. So we uh, we can segregate these numbers of the FIFA based on the continents. In 2010, African countries represented 25% of FIFA members, but even through the World Cup was played in Africa, only 3% of the tournament GDP TV audience. And on the other hand, by audience and not by population, Asia, Europe, and South America have a larger audience measured by its GDP TV audience. As you can see here in the diagram, we have Europe, we have Asia, and then we have North America, and then South America, Africa, and then Oceania. For this reason of the larger size of viewers, FIFA, of the larger size of viewers, FIFA gives more presentation to the developed countries to FIFA, and that's why FIFA gave the 2022 World Cup to some estimates. And also, FIFA follows the procedure to suit the interest of the wealthy people who run it very well. There are a few countries are responsible for bringing an audience to the same level with its talented soccer players. Of the 736 players on the roster for 2014 Cup players, there are 536, which is 76% of the players play for their club soccer in the European country. The European club teams and FIFA are already tense because a Winter World Cup in Qatar would require interrupting their club season. FIFA actually compensates the clubs for releasing those players. In 2014, in 2014, World Cup participants who go play in Europe clubs has 53 6 players, and then we have North America has Europe has 536 players. North America has 67 players. Asia has 75 players. Africa has 12 players. And many countries want to break FIFA, as the European countries represent 39% of the GDP World Cup audience. But a country like as Russia is extremely unlikely to break from FIFA, as it has been awarded the World Cup in 2018. Putin, the current president of Russia, he accused the US of trying to remove Blatter from presidency of FIFA, and having European nations only would actually mean that there would be no World Cup competition, and that's actually a big problem. As you can see that using the 36 OECD members at the foundation of a new football federation, we can actually present that they can actually represent 80% of the World Cup teams in 2014. We can see that N, which is the total of 30, 34, and then R is gonna be zero point 0.8, and if we added Brazil and Argentina, the P will be 70% of the GDP World Cup audience would be based on the developing countries, and you will have maybe, uh, in fact, this maybe will not happen uh, will not happen because there's so many countries they want to compete in FIFA, and this will break all the rules of FIFA. So money talks. Money is an issue. Money is an issue, and it's the main reason behind everything. So as we come to the question that I'm making, is there a significant difference in GDP between countries in CONMEBOL and UFA at 0.00 confidence level? So based on this question, we're gonna analyze and answer the question. Descriptive statistics. The CONMEBOL, we have like the sample size is gonna be 12, and then with the mean is gonna be 0.258 GDP, and the sample population is gonna be 0.246. Comparing to the UFA, the sample size which is 5, and then the mean is gonna be 1.7 GDP, and the sample standard deviation is gonna be 2.15. So we use the t-test. We use the student t-test for this question. So we did a hypothesis, and we put m1 equal to m2, and this is the null hypothesis, and then we did the alternative hypothesis, which is m1 not equal to m2. We used the student t because the sample population t has we found t equal to minus 1.495. The p-value equal to 0.209. Based on this results, we conclude that we failed to reject the null hypothesis, as there is not enough evidence to conclude that there is a significant difference in GDP between countries in the CONMEBOL and UFA. Here we can see the diagram that the difference between those two groups, based on the data, that there is not significant difference, as they can look there is significant difference between them, but in fact there is not significant difference based on the data that we have calculated and we have gathered throughout the information given. Thank you for this amazing semester, Dr.